Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel and exclusively early on audiblearmy.com. This is exciting because I wasn't expecting this until sometime next week, but it got here a little bit early. Mutt and Junkyard, first new packaging, back to the window. You can see the figures beautifully displayed, all the accessories right here in the window. Awesome art still on the box. On the back, you've still got the nice diorama shot. No Easter eggs that I can see in this one, but that's okay. It's still pretty cool looking back. And just, it's exciting to have new Joes in 2024 and the packaging. Look, I was not against the windowless packaging, and I ended up really liking it, as a matter of fact. But I can't deny this looks great. It just does. So let's open it up and take a look at two of the most anticipated figures in the line, I think. Everybody wants Mutt Junkyard. There's a unanimous desire for the pets of G.I. Joe, and Mutt Junkyard specifically. I think they're just beloved. They had a huge presence in Sunbow. And the original figures, which are right here, are, top tier 80s Real American Hero figures. So we are back to the old Star background with the blue, same graphics and everything. It's interesting to me that they really did, for the most part, just go back to the original style of packaging. No update to these graphics really or anything, which is fine. I have no problem with that because, as you all know, I toss it anyway. I appreciate the appeal of the packaging and how it's going to look on the shelf in the store or whatever. Not that I get most of my Classified Series figures in the store. But in the end, it's going to go. And look at this. What we are back to is the nice trays designed to hold the figures in place. Now, hopefully we can avoid warping, but it is great to not have those plastic tabs holding the figures in place. So let's pop and no tape either. So let's pop everything out of here. Oh man, this might be difficult. So first issue I've got is the way they've put his knife in here. There's no way to get it out of this without bending it. And I really hate when they do that. I would rather have a plastic tab on it. And you guys know how much I hate plastic tabs. Oh, it's awful. Awful. Alright, let's see here. Do a little bit of cutting right here and maybe pop it out. Almost lost it. All right, there we go. And it's flexible, but it's holding its shape nicely. So that's the happy medium I'm good with. And it's got a painted blade, which is great. I gotta say the tray is a little stiff for what it is. This is reminding me of some of the Super 7 trays that are like way harder to get the stuff out of. These goggles out of here. And the mask. Number of different hands, which is great because it really wasn't that long ago that classified figures didn't come with interchangeable hands except in very special circumstances. And as friend of the channel Fred Braca likes to point out, we need a Snake Eyes. Granted, we need another Snake Eyes like we need a hole in the head. Although it could be argued that we need several more Snake Eyes, as a matter of fact. But we need Snake Eyes with a pointing hand. It's straight out of the original art. It's something that we need. I agree. Now, I'm not as on board with the folks that say we need an unmasked Snake Eyes. I don't really need that. But yeah, the pointing hand I'm on board with. All right, let's set junk off to the side, move the accessories over, and take a look at Mutt. And that face. Okay, first of all, just a little side by side. The original Real American Hero figure. Yeah, I guess I'll take him. Take his mask off here so we can do a little face comparison. Because I think they've done an amazing job of hyper detailing. Man, none of this wants to come off. An amazing job of hyper detailing this original face. Look at that. I love the stubble we've got. I was trying to zoom and I hit stop. All right. It was a long day at work, you guys. I had not planned to come home and do this. But you can see, great update. Vest, just everything. This is another example of exactly what I want from Classified. Take all of the colors, the profile, and everything, and just detail it up like crazy. So that portrait, again, the stubble is just amazing. That mustache, that sneer. I like the addition of the scars right up here. He looks awesome. There's so much character in this face. And I'm a guy who, in general, prefers neutral faces. But when you do it this well, I got no complaints. The chest hair, the arm hair, something a little bit different. This is a separately sculpted piece. Look at the sculpted damage. The paint looks great. The colors on him, you talk about high contrast. One of my biggest complaints about a lot of the Classified figures is that the colors just kind of, especially in camo, which granted he doesn't have any camo, but the colors just aren't, they don't stand out. They don't pop on the shelf that much. And Mutt is gonna pop on the shelf. He looks great. Look at all of the detail on the vest here. He's got those rounds in there. He's got the badge, zipper, the buckles, all this painted detail, and then got the mace. Okay, I haven't busted it out in a while, but I think we need it here. Let's see if I can even read this. I cannot. Even with the magnifying glass, I can't quite make that out. The double magnification of that and the phone, I still can't make it out. If your eyes are better than mine, tell me in the comments, what does his mace canister say? There's a reason they went to the trouble of printing something on that. Although it may also just say, point towards enemy or whatever. The boots look great. I love the black detail on the front. Nice sculpted treads on there. And he feels great. I haven't even talked about, I like to talk about the plastic feel and how well everything moves. He has the sturdy, nice, rigid plastic. If you'll notice, bicep swivel does not create an ugly profile. Looks good. He's got the pockets on the sleeves there. Everything. One of those knee joints is always going to be a pain. Usually the lower one. And look at that. He's got knee pads, but they're painted brown knee pads. It's not a brown plastic piece making his entire leg look subpar and ugly. So good job on that one. There we go. All those joints are sturdy and solid. Green, all green up here, unlike Shadow Tracker, doesn't have some weird flesh tone in there. Mutt is great, and I think Hasbro probably knew Mutt needed to be great. It's interesting, you can almost see a pattern of them. Look at this, even though it's not showing, his belt is painted. They could have just left that green because it's covered up by this other utility belt. But no, they painted his belt black. That's a great touch. I love it. So he is perfection. I mean, he really is. This to me is a perfect classified figure. Let's take a look at his pal, Junkyard. I've got the tactical dog vest or whatever you would call this with the handle. Great detail on that. And what's interesting, though, is it looks like this vest is not removable. I mean, I'm sure you can, do the old hot water trick, take Junk's joints off. You can see there's a fairly large ball. So, I mean, if you heat this up, you can pop his arms, or his legs off, and probably slide this off. Oh, his head obviously pops right off and just fell on the floor. I was not expecting his head to pop off quite that easily. So let's get that collar back on. Pop that head back on. And just take a look at the original Junkyard, which is just a slug with some paint. Not super detailed, but I mean, a great toy dog for 1984, right? Mutt Junkyard were 84, I think. But this one, I mean, look at this guy. Look at this mug. Which, by the way, look at these two. The sculpt of all of the folds, the wrinkles, the way the eyes are done, and those jowls just... this is amazing. The collar looks great. I love that it's red and not black. I think that's a great touch. He's got his little nub tail, and then articulation-wise, just like Timber. Look at those thighs. Look at his thighs. That's a Mantar reference for those of you who don't know. Ooh, be careful with these. This one's pretty stuck. I'm going to heat it up before I try to bend it anymore. But most of these joints are moving pretty well. Okay, so I don't love that we can see the discs or hinges as well as we can right here. Obviously, painted paws would have been better, but then what do you do about those discs? It's not terrible. It certainly doesn't come anywhere close to ruining the figure. And depending on how you pose it, you may not even really see them all that much. But there is almost a little too much contrast with his unpainted plastic brown paws and then the paint wash that looks so good and natural up here. And look, it's fine, but it's also noticeable. But it's fine. He looks awesome. Let's take a look at the other head. The friendly head, that tongue lolling out of the mouth. This honestly is more what I expect from Junkyard. If you refer back to Sunbow, we've talked about it on Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, plenty. Junkyard's a fairly sedate mutt. Well, I guess he's probably not a mutt, though. He's probably more of a pedigreed dog. So that pops right on. I love this head, and I would want to display it with this head, but the other head looks so good next to Mutt that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. All right. Junkyard, fantastic. Well done. Tons of accessories going on here. And this is very interesting. There's dirt deco on the helmet, which looks great. Oh, look at this. Is this the first time we've seen the old school visor divots on one of these helmets? How nice is that? I don't know how I feel about the dirt on the helmet. It looks great, but he's not dirty anywhere. So it seems a little weird to me that he's got a dirty helmet. I don't know. Again, not really a big deal, whatever. but just kind of an odd decision. Helmet fits on the head. Looks good. Looks like that, because if you remember that this old helmet is it had a little. Well, I thought it doesn't really have a wider profile. It's really just the mask that makes his head look a little bigger. So he's got two pairs of goggles, which is the device they've decided to go with. He's got a larger pair to go over the helmet and a smaller pair that he can actually wear. They both have the like polarized looking lenses, which I think look great. Or maybe, can we get these? Can we be ridiculous? No, I don't think even the big pair will fit. No, even the big pair won't fit on Junkyard. I was about to give Junkyard some goggles, you guys. That would have been fine with me. That's the G.I. Joe world I live in. All right, so let's see how well these fit on this helmet. I'm a little nervous because once again, it is, well, not nervous, but like not positive things are going to go quite as smoothly as I want, because it is very cold down here in the Phantom Zone. And the plastic is not as pliable as it would be normally. But look at that. Goggles go on just fine. Pop on his head. Helmet is a little loose, I gotta say. But I bet his mask, his muzzle mask deal, which, look at all that detail. That is crazy. Considering the old one, which, again, much smaller scale. Oh, look, the new one's not that much bigger than the old one, though. That's really funny. That's got to fit under the helmet, so that explains why the helmet is a little larger. Now, is this even going to go over his head, though? Do I need to pop his head off? No, this should be fine. All right, there we go. So actually, I pushed that too far down. That's got to go up. You got to kind of pull that up a little bit to get it snug. And then the helmet fits over that. And look at that. That fits perfectly. So if you're displaying him with the mask, which I still say the helmet being dirty is very strange, because nothing else on the figure is dirty. But that fits perfectly and looks great. It eliminates the gap between the helmet and the face. But I mean, I want to see that sneering face on this guy. He also comes with an M16 blaster. You guys know. Does have the removable magazine and the blast port. Beautiful. I had a pellet blaster. And I know somebody commented recently, forget being PC. It isn't about being PC. It's about YouTube not preventing me from monetizing things. So looks great though. I had an M16. I guess I can say that maybe. I realize that's not correct, but you know what I'm saying. Pellet blaster when I was a kid, and I loved it when we went outside to play G.I. Joe. I was the envy of all the other kids because of my extremely realistic looking pellet blaster that fortunately I never got shot for running around the neighborhood with. Times they were different. So there's that. Fits right in his hand. Looks great. I am a little disappointed that he didn't come with the with that one, because that's just what we relate to Mutt, right? But there are plenty of 1/12 scale versions of that out in the world. So to be honest, I'm happy to have this, because I might give this to somebody else and just leave Mutt for the time being with this blast port. Love the green deco on it, even though it's not really necessary. I don't know of many hand blasters that have that kind of paint scheme, but it looks really cool. And it's just a little added deco that makes the figure feel higher end. And that stuff is important. He's got his nightstick, which unfortunately does not... Again, I kind of wish it was like the original and had the loop on it. And I don't think he has storage for it either. Although you could, if you wanted to be ridiculous, maybe you could plug it into his back. But that's, I mean, you can, but come on. You can just tuck it into his belt, maybe. Although it's a little rubbery, but it works. I don't care for it, but you can do it. I do wish they'd just put a loop on his belt for that. I mean, considering this is a unique belt, because nobody else is, I don't think anybody else is going to have this mace. Yeah, I would, just a loop for this would have been nice. And then he has got, we already took a look at the, man, I can't keep this knife in one place. Painted blade, and it's flexible, but it holds its shape, so that's fine with me. Whoa. Does he not have anywhere to put that? Oh, no, it goes on his chest. Duh. We've sat here looking at it for the last 15 minutes. Okay, so that slides right into the chest there. Looks great. And then finally, a number of different interchangeable hands. He's got trigger finger C-grips for default. And then a gesturing hand, a couple of pointing... Oh, wait. Oh, weird. What have we got going on here? We've got a pointing hand. We've got a gesturing hand. Or a petting hand, maybe. That might be a petting hand. A different... Huh. Is that a scratching hand? Or is that for the... Maybe he can't hold the nightstick with the other C-grip. A couple of... He's got a fist for punching. He's got another interesting posed hand. And then another. Wow, what a weird selection of hands. I guess they're all for interacting with Junkyard, because they do all look like different hand gestures for like scratching, petting, whatever, a dog. So that one, little scratch under the chin, good boy. I don't know, very interesting. It'll be fun to play around with those and get some pictures taken. And then those are the goggles that go on his head without the helmet. So there you go. That is Mutt and Junkyard. Absolutely fantastic. Overall, I'm thrilled. My nitpicks... Oh, let me turn my magnifying glass back off. My nitpicks are, I don't understand why the helmet is dirty. It looks great, but it just doesn't make sense. And give me a loop for that nightstick. That's just weird. But other than that, excellent set. Very, very well done. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Check out audiblearmy.com for all kinds of extra G.I. Joe content. And until next time...
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.